What is up, guys? Again, Not the Worst here, bringing another Black Desert Online video, and today we got some spicy news coming through. We've got Succession for the Warrior class hitting the global lab servers today, so that can be tested. So before we take a look at that, a couple things I want to point out. Number one, these are Google translated notes, so obviously the text is going to be a little bit difficult for us in general. And number two, it's on the global lab, so that means it's not necessarily going to roll out to live servers exactly the same way that it is currently on the test servers. And the next thing is, do I know when this is going to come onto live servers? No, I do not. Typically, it goes on to the global lab. We'll be there for a couple weeks, then KR gets it for a couple weeks, and then somewhere between a couple more weeks and a month or something, or 2 months sometimes, then it rolls out to other servers. I have absolutely no idea. The next question, because when we talk about global lab, this pops up a lot of times in the comments. Do I know when this is coming on Xbox? No. Do I know when this is coming on PS4? No. I have no inside information on that whatsoever. What I've got for you, though, is what's going on in the global lab, and it's kind of exciting because it's kind of a big update. So anyways, let's take a look at what it is. If you're not familiar with what Succession is, we talked about it a little bit before a few weeks back when the developers were talking about it. It's a path in the game that they want to introduce, as opposed to going Awakening after level 56. You have the option to stick with your pre-Awakening weapon and continue mastering that weapon, if you will, or succeeding along with it, the succession to it. So with a warrior, you would be abandoning the great sword, but using your sword and shield to get more developed skills with that particular weapon setup. So it says, as a warrior, level 56 or higher, you can use the succession skill immediately after completing a certain quest, Institute of Tradition. Quest is exclusive right now to the global lab, and there's no limits, and you can reset up global lab stuff there. You can learn the fighting skills by handing a quest to abandon your awakening skills and sticking with your swords and shields. When you transfer, you can't use the great sword anymore, but the damage of your great sword does affect the succession skills along with the damage of your regular sword and shield as well. So it looks like we're going to be getting damage amounts put into the pre-awakening and succession skills as well. So your awakening weapon isn't going to be useless moving forward if you decide to go with this route. In addition to the main weapons and awakening weapons in the skill window, obviously you have a tradition tab or the succession tab, whatever they end up calling it, or whatever it is translated properly, that's going to be added. So you have your standard, succession, and awakening there. Obviously between awakening and succession is what you're going to be choosing. Succession and main weapon skills can be used at the same time. Skills in the succession can't learn awakening skills. Skills that are on the succession tab can be used with your standard skills. You must learn the art prior to in the main weapons tab in order to do the tradition skills. It's a specific skill you're going to learn, so that says you're doing either awakening or you're doing succession from there. As far as the rest of the updates, a couple of skills that were changed for a couple of things, and this again, the succession is only on the warrior at the moment. Changing what actual buttons on Dark Knight here, and then horse riding behavior for Shy. I imagine this is for something prepped for succession for that class later on that they want to add so that they don't overlap. Not entirely sure there. And then the only other real big note from this is they're adding that the two-car dudes, the guys that look like Eltons in History of Ruins but aren't actually Eltons, they're actually going to have the compass piece added to their drop loot table as well. So they're kind of like Eltons now because you can actually get the Elton piece from them, whereas previously you couldn't. So that's kind of cool too. So that's pretty much it for what's going on. We just see that it's live on the global lab servers for now. At least we see some kind of progress moving forward. As far as what do I think about this, I mean, any new additions to the game I think is really cool. I think this is an interesting idea to kind of bring a different play style or more versatility to classes that already exist. As far as things I'm not super excited about, unfortunately, I think this has to be done class by class. It's a lot of preparation and development for each class to make sure that you're not completely breaking a class, although I suspect they might try and break it just a little bit initially to encourage people to play that class, and maybe they'll release a few new costumes at the same time, wink wink. But outside of that, I think it has to be, one at a time. It'd be a whole lot of development, a long time to try and roll out for all the classes they want to have succession for. So if it's not your favorite class, maybe make an alt warrior, try it out if you want to check it out and see how that works out for you. But in general, this is going to have to be done class by class. I'm not happy about that. I wish there was a way to kind of give it to multiple classes at once so that it doesn't feel like very odd or imbalanced in any way, but that's just going to be the nature of this moving forward, and there's not a whole lot we can do about it. So that's going to be it for this video. I want to know what you guys think about it. What are you thinking about the succession class in general? Also, the developers did mention something about, not that this actually means anything in practice, they did mention something about you wouldn't be abandoning Awakening altogether. I don't know if they meant that's because your Awakening weapon will affect damage that you're outputting either way. or they meant that there's going to be some sort of crossover between the two so that you're a little bit Succession, a little bit Awakening. I'm not really sure from there. And then, of course, we're always dealing with translation issues too. But what do you guys think about Succession coming out in general? Are you excited? Are you guys a Warrior main? You're going to be all over this? Anybody trying it on the Global Lab now and loving it, or what's going on? Let me know in the comments below. And if you did enjoy the video, be sure to like it. If you're new to the channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button so you get notifications when new videos do go live. And if you want to catch me playing live, be sure to head over to the Twitch page. There's a link in the description below. You can jump over there, drop a follow so you get a notification when we go live, or you can just check out the weekly schedule for when the streams do go up if you want to check that out. With that being said, that is going to be it for this video. I want to thank everyone for watching, and I will see you next time.